guys, welcome once again to one another beautiful episode of Hashtag The Blue Mic, where we get to meet the independent artists along and have some fantastic music coming up from them. Today, I have a very special guest of mine because he's one of those person who has been remembering and learning, in fact, the church music. And then he's someone who's actually transformed himself to metal music, if I remember him precisely. So who do I have with him? Let's have him here being introduced. Hi, so would you love to introduce yourself to all our audiences, please?
Hi, Nisha. Hey, everyone watching. My name is Neil Umwi, and I am a country music artist, singer-songwriter from Shillong, Meghalaya.
So, hi Neil, how are you doing and how has all this while been?
I'm doing good. Kinda got the cold last week and kind of getting through it.
So that's how you welcome the winters now,
Yeah.
the most awaited winters. So, Neil, tell us something about like what was that which really attracted you towards the music? Was it someone who really introduced you to something, or was it something that you were hearing that you were being close to?
I wasn't really a fan of country music when I grew up. I listened to a lot of gospel music, alternative rock, soft rock, and then I went into metal and all that. But
Hmm.
then my uncles, they have a country music band, a tribute band called the Straight Brothers, and they play a lot of country music in town. And I remember watching one of their shows, and the song Rhinestone Cowboy came on. They were playing that song, and I decided to try and sing that song. And as I started listening to that song, I came across more country songs, and something about it uh, just made me feel different about the kind of music that I was used to listening to. So that's how I got into country music.
That's quite interesting, if I need. So, Neil, now when you look at this scenario in Shillong, where you basically belong, what do you find it? Like, you find every other person really has that music inside them, which is now being heard in different formats coming up, or you think that the music there has picked up a new level of understanding and you have find some great music coming up from there?
There's definitely been a lot of great music that's come out from Shillong. A lot of artists have started to come up now, especially after the pandemic. I think the staying at home and doing nothing brought out a lot of the artists in a lot of people, and yeah, a lot of great music has come out. A lot of amazing and talented artists have come up, and there's a huge competition going on around here.
So when you talk about the country music, the first thing which used to come into the minds, when you were in the earlier days, was like people having their horses around them, wearing those hats around them, having this nice guitar in the air, and having an open farm and singing around, and that is how the country music depicted us.
Yes.
Now, when you talk about the country music, what do you find? You find the guys now on there on the bikes and actually having the Bluetooth headsets on and then singing a song. How does the scenario change now?
A lot has changed in country music. There's a lot of pop influence and rock influence and all that, which is not a bad thing. Yeah, a genre needs to grow, and it's gonna keep on growing whether you like it or not. But
Correct.
but that's the beauty of it. It's always nice to hear something new.
Absolutely. So, with this, would you love to sing your first song for all our audiences and tell us something about it also?
Okay, sure. Uh, I'm gonna sing a song that's the latest one that I released. It's actually a duet that I wrote a long time ago, and it's just a song about having fun
Uh
and
huh.
about having nothing to do and having fun at home. So
Wow.
it's called "Sing Along with Me." Girl, why you sitting there alone? Why don't you come here? Let's sing a couple songs. Maybe let's make something rhyme. Let's write a few lines. Doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. I got a pen and a little paper sack. Let's get some ideas and write it in the back. Come on, write what you want, let's make this fun. Strum some chords and sing along. Let's blow the roof off this place, baby, let's get crazy. Rock it all the way, I rockin' kind of country. Let's start at the lows, and I'm real slow. Just like the way that you want it to be, girl, I got you here. So come on, sing along with me. Sing along with me. Thank you.
What an amazing number. And I tell you that, while you were singing, what we could actually picturize was Neil there up, sitting on a farm, having this guitar on and having a nice girl walking down in a white shirt coming and saying, oh, fine, I'm going to sing along. Absolutely perfect, guys, in fact. And Neil, but when you talk about the church music, and hearing the gospels which are being there. So as we know that, people in the Shillong do hear so much of the gospels along with them in their life. Does that really help them to understand what music is all about and, get there some kind of nuances from the gospel music to what they are working in their own fields?
Yes, I would agree to that because personally, I would say I wouldn't have had this encounter with music if it wasn't from church, because most of the people here we grew up in church, going to Sunday schools and all that, and a part of church is music is always there, is always a part of every church, and we believe that music can touch someone, and I guess it plays a very important role in each and every artist that's come up from here.
Absolutely.
Most of them, yeah. So yeah, church is a place where we encounter music first in our lives.
Absolutely. So now when we have to, hear from the perspective of Neil that, hearing the church music, then coming back to your own version of metal music also, how have things transformed from you? Like, are you a person who really loves to try out what different kind of music really needs to be brought out to the people? Or you feel that you are in a zone where you're experimenting with your voice and with the music which can be given up with the best to the audiences?
For a while, I was experimenting with a lot of different genres, and lately, I think for the past 10 years now is when I decided to stick to country music, because there's very, very, very few country musicians in India, and it's it's not very popular out here,
Mhm.
and so I find that it's nice to be different. It's not always the mainstream that's cool sometimes, but something that's a little rare to find.
So Neil, when you had the first song which was out, which was there for the audiences to hear, were you scared that how are the people going to be responding to it? Or do you have that kind of a confidence also that, I know what I had to do the best, I have given myself the best, and somehow this is going to be loved by the people around? How was that feeling for you?
It's a little bit of both. At first I was like, will people like my music? Because uh, it is very different from what people put up around here. So that was the first thing that went through my head. And but again, there's like, maybe it's a good thing. At least I'm sure if maybe out of 100 people, if 10 people like it, then I'm happy that someone can smile when they listen to my music. So it's that sense of joy that you find in someone enjoying your song, be it just one person.
Hmm. That's true. So would you love to have another song for all our audiences out here and let them know that they have a reason to smile because Neil is singing for them?
Okay, sure. Since we were talking about the first song, I'll sing the first song that I released. This was a song that I released 2 years ago, and it's a love song. It's a song called "The Heart That I Call Home."
Wow.
She acts all crazy, but she's always beautiful to me. The kind I call a perfect mess. And I just go on and on at the mention of her. I just can't hold my tongue for long. She's got that show me off. Go and tell them how lucky you are. Well, she ain't wrong. She's every part of every best dream. She's got the heart that I call home. Thank you.
Wow. I suppose people who've been hearing this song can actually feel the love which is there, for them. But who was in your mind when you actually wrote this song?
That's a tough question to answer. you know, some it's everybody go through that part of life. So let's just leave it there.
So you're one of those person who writes up a song. You're one of those person who creates music on his own. So if I had to ask you, what really comes first? Is it the music or is it the lyrics?
The lyrics come first for me.
Uh-huh. So how do you prefer to write your lyrics? Like going down to an open farm, sitting there, gazing at the sky and penning it down, or shutting yourself into a room and saying, "Do not disturb me for the next 4 hours now."
It depends, sometimes back in my college days, there are songs that I've written while sitting in class. Sometimes the classes are boring, and you just end up writing some lyrics, and then I'd go back to where I was staying and try to find a melody that works. I've done that a bit, but sometimes being in a nice, quiet place also helps gather your thoughts properly.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's no right and wrong way in writing a song.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, when you are composing a music, so are there certain things what you keep in mind before now creating up a music that it needs to gel up instantly with the people around, or it's like whatever comes to your heart that is down there on the floors, and then you feel that that's how it has to reach out to the audiences.
I'd say 50-50. You always try to write something that's that's catchy and that people will vibe to it. But then also you're gonna try to put some personal taste, some personal matters into the songs that you write, because again, that's part of being an artist. You-
Mhm.
that's how you become different from other people. It's writing about your personal life and making it sound, making it in such a way that others can also can feel what you're going through, but there may be some that are going through the same thing.
So, when you work as a lyricist, is there different forms of the art which you have learned yourself, or you're grooming yourself to get a perfect way of writing a song? Because it's very easy to start off with a song at times because you have a poet inside you which comes out, but at times it gets quite difficult to finish up a song or to gather the same kind of exactly couplets which should work very well so that it reaches and makes up a good song. So, how do you craft up yourself every time?
There's no secrets really. it, there are just days that it works and days that it doesn't, and I just try not to force myself too much into it. If if it doesn't if it doesn't come out, then no matter how hard you try, it won't. So if that happens, then I just take a breather and then maybe leave it for a day or two and then try again and keep on going at it. And if you find that you're stuck, then just move on and try, maybe write a new song, and maybe a few days or a few weeks or months you get back into that song and you start feeling it again, then maybe it's gonna come out the way you wanted it. But then
All right. So, which is another song which you would love to sing for us, Neil, that that depicts about the best version of you?
this one's called That's Where I Come From. Tulane flying down the highway, shotgun in my daddy's car, got the radio on, mama in the back seat singing along, talking about loving and living, small town boys chasing dreams that were bigger than they could dream. Son, go chase that dream, but never forget where you're from. This little house, this little town, where the church bells ring every morning, where everybody's got a little everything going on. Food's ready on the table. Brothers say grace. Oh, hallelujah. Learn how to swallow your pride. Daddy's trying to raise his kids right. Built on faith, hope, and love. That's where I come from. Thank you.
Wow, amazing, Neil. I mean, that could actually show you and tell us everything about what you had to tell, that why were you missing with from the home. So it's so
Yes.
beautifully written, absolutely perfect. And that's how I come to know why it is the shortest period of time, because you had your heart out in the song.
Yes, yes.
That's true. But Neil, as an example, we have got so many people which we see as the country artists, right from the crooning of Kenny Rogers to Willie Nelson to Steve. If I had to ask you, where does Neil actually stand in amongst all of them?
Nowhere close yet. Those are my heroes, all those that you mentioned, and I look up to their music a lot. They are some of the people that have inspired me a lot to do what I do.
So people believe that, a country music also has a bit of the folk music which is there, which has been carried up for the generations. So what do you really like to plan forward? Like you would love to mix the country music and the folk music together to bring out some another kind of a music, or would you love to preserve it in the way it is and being catered up to the next generations coming further? How do you plan?
I I actually have plans to incorporate folk music from Shillong. The instrumentation that we get from folk music out here with my style of music, just for something different,
Mhm.
and trying to work on some songs for that, and hopefully it works out. But yeah, the traditional way of country music with a more modern sound, that's what I'm going for.
So if people would actually see Neil from next 5 years from now as how they ask you interview questions, how do you see Neil as?
The same guy that's sitting here right now, making music and trying to put out the best music that's out there.
But Neil, by the time when you came out with your first original, there were other forms of music also coming up at the same time. We had got hip hop, we got soul, and even R&B had been taking over all those things. So, how did you actually react to the young people, and how was the reaction of people when they got to know that you are the person getting country music from them, whereas the people are getting all these genres out for them? So how was their reaction towards you?
Most people liked it at the time because it was very different. It was honest, and there are people that don't like this kind of music, and I'm not judging anyone. Uh, Anyone can listen to anything that that they want, but yeah, it's a mix. It's a mix of both. I tend to grab the attention of the older audiences more because they 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 grew up listening to the kind of music that I listen to, unlike the young ones, the teenagers. But then there are exceptions. There are teenage guys and girls that listen to my kind of music and they love this kind of music. So yeah, it's a mix of both.
Absolutely. So, what is the next song which you're going to be singing us for us, which will actually help us, all the audiences, to realize that radio plays music like how Neil gives it to us?
Um, it's a song about falling in love with a blue-eyed girl. Yeah, here it goes. Well, I made a couple calls, gotta pick up my girl. Take some time, take a sip, take a long crazy trip with her. Drive a few hundred miles with her sitting by my side. Roll the windows down, sunshine lighting up her pretty blue eyes. Baby, won't you let your hair fall down while the wind blows? Kiss me on my lips and take it real slow. You know I just can't help it when you give me that smile. Baby, when you sing along to the song on the radio, I wanna hear that soft, sweet angel voice. Everything about you, girl, is making my heart smile. And your pretty blue eyes.
Amazing. And perhaps I do not have the pretty blue eyes, but I definitely have a blue liner, which comes up good with the song tonight. That's true. All right, so Neil, it's been said that Nashville is basically the muck of the music. Do you have any plans to go down there and perform?
Yes, that's a songwriter's dream. Nashville is one of the biggest music hubs in the world, and especially for country music. Yeah, it'll be great to go there one day and perform some of my songs.
Absolutely. So Neil, if there was a choice to be given out for you to sing up into the Bollywood, would you love to do that?
Yeah, I'd love to give it a try.
So as we've been actually seeing that there's much kind of a different music which has been introduced, or you could say a kind of fusioned up, while even you are seeing into the Bollywood these days. Because when you talk about the independent artists, we kind of see that the differentiation between them is really being scaled off. They are good musics, they are good singers who are the independent artists who release their songs, and then we find them songs to be heard up onto the Bollywood movies or some other movies also. Do you find that this is a great way and a great time for good artists to get out the best of the music, because now people really want to hear something new and that can be formed up into a different version when you hear it all together?
Yes, yes, it is the best time to to come up with new music, and people love to hear new music, instead of listening to the same old songs again and again, which most of them are classics, but sometimes it's good to hear something different. It gives you a new perspective of what how music has grown throughout the years. So, yeah. Yeah.
So where can people actually find Neil if they really want to find him?
Yeah, you can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. Got a couple of music videos there, and
Mhm.
yeah, my music is there on all streaming platforms. You can just search for Neil Umwi.
Very true. So we just had one more song that you would love to play for all our audiences, in fact, Neil.
Let's do another love song,
All right.
And this song is a is a true story. Um, it's about uh, it's about a girl that you're trying to
We'll
impress,
find that
and
we'll find that out in the song you're trying to.
yeah. I think that's best. So this one is called "If Only."
Today I came across your picture, sitting pretty on that couch in the corner, staring at your phone, probably waiting for someone to walk in through that door. Another day in September, I got you and me playing on stereo, singing every line like it was our song. Oh, let it be our song. If only you could see the world through these eyes that adore you, make amends of the past that still haunt you. Love ain't just a game to play, and damn it, I can't keep this feeling locked inside this beating heart for way too long. Time goes by, seasons change, but you know I won't. If only you let me be the one.
Ah, that's nice. So did you find someone after singing this song?
Maybe I don't know.
Okay, so we're getting a hint from you that you have someone out there. Okay, so but India also has country music artists, and we have people like Bobby Cash and even now Winston and all. So have they really inspired you in some way down the line? Do you look up to them and to their music and you feel like that? Wow, that's something cool.
Yeah, what they're doing is a little different from what I do. Bobby Cash is more into the traditional country music. Winston is more into the rock side of it. I'm somewhere in between that. I've I've had contact with Winston for quite a while, and we've planned on working on something, but so far it hadn't worked out. But hopefully we can have a collaboration someday
A
with him.
collaboration soon.
Yeah. And I also went to a Bobby Cash concert when he came to Shillong. It was really fun seeing him play.
Interesting. All right. Thank you so much, Neil, for actually doing that for us. We've got the best of your music, the best of your answers coming down from you. And I really enjoy this conversation with you every time because you really are a kind of a person, I must say, who brings out simplicity into the most simplest form of the music and in your words, which makes you more relatable even while anyone else is hearing you at any given point of time. So thank you so much for giving us such a beautiful music. And what you do really inspires us.
Well, thank you so much for your kind words and for having me.